The Appeals Chamber confirmed the sufficient gravity of the case pursuant to Article 17(1)d of the Rome Statute and declared the case against Al-Hassan to be admissible before the ICC.
In the view of the Appeals Chamber, both quantitative and qualitative criteria are relevant in assessing gravity. Turning to the specific arguments raised by Mr. Al-Hassan, the Appeals Chamber notes that the number of victims, while relevant, was not determinative in the pretrial chamber's assessment of the gravity requirement under Article 17(1)d of the statute.
The Appeals Chamber overturned the second pre-trial chamber decision that an investigation would not serve the interests of justice and authorised the investigation of any alleged crime within the court's jurisdiction that occurred on the territory of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan in the period from 1st of May 2003.
Earlier today, the judges of the Appeals Chamber of the International Criminal Court unanimously decided to authorize my office to commence an investigation into alleged crimes committed on the territory of Afghanistan since the 1st of May 2003, as well as other alleged crimes that have a nexus to the armed conflict in Afghanistan, but committed on the territory of other state parties in the period since 1st of July 2002.
After nearly 4 years, the proceedings in the case against Dominic Ongwen closed and the trial entered the phase of the trial chamber's deliberation on the final decision. Dominic Ongwen is accused of 70 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity allegedly committed in northern Uganda. A total of 4,065 victims have been granted the right to participate in the proceedings.
That is the end of the prosecution's closing arguments. I thank you for your attention. We would ask you to convict Mr. Ongwen on all counts.
Even if it were to be found that Ongwen was a co-perpetrator, at least, or even participated directly, he did so at the behest of Joseph Kony. Ongwen was acting on superior orders under duress, and he had no choice in the matter.
Victims in the community, as previously stated, thought this day would never come. They have put faith in these proceedings and in this court. They have seen the evidence presented before your honors and believe it's compelling and that should result in a conviction on all charges.
The Appeals Chamber unanimously confirmed the admissibility of the case against Saif al-Islam Gaddafi before the court and rejected his appeal against the pre-trial chamber decision, dismissing his challenge to the admissibility of the case. The drafters of the statute never meant to go so far as to vest an acquitted person with a right to benefit from compensation by mere virtue of the fact that the acquittal was preceded by time spent in custody, or of the mere duration of the proceedings. It was never meant to provide a remedy for the damages of an economic and financial nature which are not the result of a grave and manifest miscarriage of justice. No time limits exist either with regard to the different phases of the proceedings or, more critically, in respect of the duration of custodial detention, whether in respect of each phase of the proceedings or overall.
Following this, and I hope that I will face justice. Thank you.
After having considered all relevant factors, including the need for the parties and participants to prepare the rights of Mr. Abdelrahman, especially his right to be tried without undue delay, and the current exceptional circumstances due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the date for the commencement of the confirmation of charges hearing is set for Monday, 7 December 2020, this year.
On June 11, 2020, President of the United States Donald Trump signed an executive order which allows the United States to enforce sanctions and additional visa restrictions against International Criminal Court personnel. A month prior, the International Criminal Court authorized a probe into alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in Afghanistan by U.S. armed forces, the CIA, and the Taliban. Additionally, the executive order follows the court's steps to investigate potential crimes committed by Israel against Palestinians, as the U.S. remains a close Israeli ally. These sanctions are the latest actions taken by the Trump administration to restrict the court's investigation and authority. In April 2019, the Trump administration revoked Chief Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda's entry visa into the United States for the court's regular briefings before the United Nations Security Council in New York.
We hope that the U.S. administration reconsiders its approach towards the ICC.